The Underground Pub Show is sponsored by Dick's Wings and Grill of Pensacola, located at 6205 North 9th Avenue. Call ahead for the big game for your wing and wrap platters, 850-497-6945, or online at dickswingsandgrill.com. Eat, watch, play, Dick's Wings.
When it comes to class, these guys are somewhere between Kanye West and the SEC fans. It's your Underground Pub Show, exclusively on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 10 of the Underground Pub Show here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. What's up? I'm Schreiber, joined as always with CJ and Bobo. How we doing today, fellas?
I'm good. I'm trying to do stuff and share. I'm sharing the group in Facebook.
Yeah.
People wonder what I'm doing.
I'm
not
good
ignoring the show, and I'm really far from the mic, and no one probably could hear me.
I'm good as well.
But now I'm close.
Well, excellent. That's a very detailed response, Bobo.
Yes, I like to keep the audience informed of my every movement.
Well, that's great. I appreciate that. We got a lot to talk about today. Today's the very first day of the NHL season. It kicked off earlier this evening. The game going on currently right now is the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Ottawa Senators, and history has already been made in that game. The first overall pick in the NHL draft, Austin Matthews, who's also on my hockey fantasy team, mind you, has scored 4 goals in his NHL debut, and the third period just recently started. So Austin Matthews is off to a great start for the 19-year-old. That dude was born in 1997, and here he is just killing it in the highest level of a hockey play. So that's really impressive. Very, very impressive to Austin Matthews.
Did you even know he was on your fantasy team before?
I didn't. I did not know. I had no idea because
we were in the car on the way up here, and I was asking him, like, who has him in your league? It's a 14-man league. So he's checking, and then he realized he has him.
Yeah. Had no idea.
Luckily, he started them, so 4 goals. So that's pretty impressive.
4 goals. I just now looked at the game, and Toronto and Ottawa are now tied at 4. So literally, Toronto, everything they've done right so far has been off this Austin Matthews guy. And later on tonight, there is another game as well. In fact, I believe it just started. I'll get to that, y'all, in just a second. There's a lot. Yeah, the Blues and the Blackhawks, they actually just, the second period just started, and that game, the Blackhawks literally just scored as I pulled this up, so.
Yeah, go Blackhawks.
So they're up 2-1 right now, and there's a lot of games going on tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big first day. The highlighted game for me, anyway, would be the Detroit Red Wings versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. We also got the Canadiens playing the Sabres, the Battle of New York with the Rangers and the Islanders, the Capitals and the Penguins. That's always a big game. Unfortunately, though, the Penguins will be without goaltender Carey Price and captain Sidney Crosby. Carey Price has the flu, so he did not make the trip, and neither did Steven Stamkos got a concussion after the World Cup was over in like one of his first practices back with the Penguins. Dude gets a concussion, so that's
awful. Yeah,
that really sucks. But I mean, Sidney Crosby is pretty used to concussions. He's had a bunch of them. He had a really bad one several years ago in the outdoor game. He got one so bad that it kept him out the entire year and like a majority of the next season. Like, I remember seeing that shit. I don't know if you ever saw that, but like the way he like fell, like he got tripped and he flew up and hit head first onto the ice.
Oh.
And like, I mean, it was just, guy was out. It was brutal.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
Everybody's been getting hit with a concussion bug lately. Jordan Reed is in the concussion protocol in the NFL, and Cam Newton is just off of one as well. He missed Monday night's game, which was an incredible game from start to finish.
Yeah, it was
great action.
A lot of accuracy by the quarterbacks,
yes.
And there was little mistakes. It was just
it was an amazing game. I watched all of it.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
Yep.
I
watched the whole game.
Bobo, I imagine you were really pleased with that game, especially the Florida State kicker, right?
Yeah, actually, I had a good couple of laughs from him and his nonsense and bad accuracy and weird. Actually, he's a good kicker. I'm not gonna lie. He did really good in college. He obviously can kick, but
he did hit the game winner.
he also hit the goalpost.
Yeah,
or whatever it is, the crossbar.
He had 2 missed field goals in that game prior to that one.
Oh, that takes skill to hit that crossbar.
Actually, did you see him point and curse the crossbar when he hit it? Yeah. He was pointing and yelling at the crossbar like the crossbar somehow fucked with his kick.
My favorite kickers are still the Grammaticas for
they're amazing.
Their over celebration for every kick.
They should tour the country. Just kick balls and cheer.
CJ, weren't you a really big fan of Martin Grammatica?
Yeah, unfortunately, he was on my Saints at one point, and he lost the game for us.
The Broncos.
Against the Broncos, the last time we actually had a chance to beat them. We haven't beat them since the year 2000 before then, so it's been a rough go.
I just remember working at Logan's Roadhouse. Well, we both were working there, but he was off this particular night, and I wasn't. And, like, I'm literally getting food out of the window, and in stumbles CJ. How are you going to miss that field goal? Dude, he just like, I've got food in my hands, ready to go bring it to a table. He just comes and puts his arm in. Dude, how are you gonna miss that? It's one of my favorite memories ever of CJ.
I almost lost my job because of that. They don't really like it when you show up to work drunk.
Yeah, and and still somehow
angry.
you did manage to get fired from that job years later, right?
Yes, it was years later I did get fired.
They did close down the Fort Walton store.
Yeah. Yes, they closed down the Fort Walton store. Everybody that's there migrated to the Pensacola store.
Is the Spanish Trail one like
Spanish Fort?
Or Spanish Fort?
Oh, yeah.
That's a Logan Spanish Trail.
That's what I meant.
Fuck,
Spanish
what
Fort
am I going to do in my life?
Yeah, it's right there where the old Spanish Trail bars used to be. They opened up a Logan's there in the back patio. Now.
I love their Parmesan chicken dish thing.
Oh, the like with the Parmesan peppercorn.
Yeah, that was really.
That's
good.
one of my favorite dishes over there.
I used to like the smoking wings, but I don't think they have anymore. Of course, the best wings in Pensacola has to be Dick's Wings by far.
Oh yeah, we're speaking of wings. We're gonna have to add Dick's Wings to that whole discussion because they are delicious.
They are great. Yeah, this is our third week with Dick's, and dude,
I have not been disappointed with these Dick's at all.
I've not been. All right, we've got a caller. All right, what's up? You're on the Underground Pub Show with Schreiber, CJ, and Bubba. Who's this?
Hey, this is James. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, James? How are you?
Nothing much. I have a question. It's a conversation that I haven't heard yet.
Okay.
Everyone's talking about the 2 quarterback over at Dallas and how Prescott is doing well and that he's going to take Romo's job, but no one's talking about Chicago Bears. Hoyer playing very well the last 3 starts that he's taken over, passing for 300 yards each game and 2 touchdowns. What are you guys' thoughts on Hoyer taking the job over at Chicago?
That's a great question, and
I think it's possible.
Yeah, I want to see Hoyer keep the job. He's playing way better than Jay Cutler has, and like
ever. I mean, Cutler has yet to play well in the past 4 or 5 years.
And like you said, he's thrown over 300 yards.
Didn't you say he was good though?
Yeah, I said a lot of things that. But Hoyer, I would pick him up on my fantasy team if you're hurting at the quarterback spot because he's doing well for that team. And Cameron Meredith. Last game had 100 yards and a touchdown. He's the guy looking to. They're ignoring Alshon Jeffrey. So yeah, if it just with Dallas, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know why you would want to.
I think Dallas is a different story though.
I don't say like we're getting off topic. We'll talk about this later, but I think they should stick with Dak, just like the Bears should stick with Hoyer.
Yeah,
I think they're 2 different situations.
I mean, they are definitely a little bit different. Cowboys. I mean, Tony Romo. He's no scrub. But with the Bears, it's not like Jay Cutler has been this
He's not a leader, just like Bennett said.
Bennett
said he's not a leader. He doesn't care. He takes himself out of games for injuries. Yeah. My thumb hurts. I'm going to go sit down and go see a doctor tomorrow. It's like, what? You fuckboy, get out of here.
So, I mean, that is Cutler.
That is a very Cutler thing to do right there.
Oh.
Yeah, but my answer is stay with Hoyer. So what do you guys like? Stay with Hoyer?
I think we're actually going to agree on that one.
Yeah.
So this is unprecedented. We all agree.
Unfortunately, we don't have any say-so over the Chicago Bears and how they do things, which is why they're probably a shit team.
Yeah. Hey, they've looked better recently, and Jordan Howard, the running back for them, has looked pretty good.
Yeah,
too,
he did look really good in the last game, especially.
Yeah, I actually think they might beat the Jaguars this weekend. So.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Even the Saints could beat the Jaguars right now.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks,
Appreciate
James.
it, man.
Your team sucks.
Thanks,
That was rude.
Who's this team?
We played fantasy, and he had the best team in the league, but then he had to face me, and
I guess Bobo was.
He lost by 1 point.
That's awful.
I had Denver's defense, and when the rain delay was over, they ran like a couple more plays, and Von Miller got a sack on Winston, and I was able to win by 1 point.
Nice.
Due to the rain delay. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
How did you like your draft in the 14-man fantasy hockey league?
I drafted the first 2 rounds. After that, I was like, "This is stupid," and I stopped drafting. I knew what was going on. Every player I wanted, someone else got. All the Russians went really quick. I just got all the people with the highest numbers next to their name, and then I just gave up and just let the auto draft take over.
I had to work and completely forgot about it. And
me too.
He's not even in this league. This fucking guy. But apparently my fantasy hockey team ain't too bad. I've got Mr. Austin Matthews. So I mean,
who else is on your team?
The Lightning goalie Ben Bishop, who is fucking awesome. Actually, probably one of the best goalies that you could have on your team.
Does Hobby Bullen still play?
No.
Oh, he was great.
No. Hobby Bullen's done. He was really good.
Okay.
But yeah, this past weekend was relatively uneventful when it came to college football, but there was a few standout games. The Florida State-Miami game, that's probably had the most controversy. A lot of people are pointing at the refs, saying that they kind of gave him a helping hand in that victory. I didn't see a lot of that game. I saw a lot of the highlights. Bobo, I know you're kind of the expert in this scenario. Like, what did you take away from the Florida State-Miami game?
It's one of those games where I wanted to cheer on Miami, and I was really excited, but then I realized that Miami was going to become Miami, and they quickly started becoming Miami around the third quarter. They were Miami, and all of a sudden, Florida State, everything started going their way. It wasn't even like a referee thing. You could even blame the refs or anything like that. It was just everything just started working for Miami or for Florida State, and all the things that Miami was doing, they stopped doing and started trying to do other stuff, and it just didn't work out. But then to come back in the fourth quarter and to pull off that touchdown when you needed it, that was pretty good. That was really impressive. That was not typical Miami getting beat by Florida State. But to lose to an extra because the extra point got blocked, that was very Miami. And that was all I could do was shake my head and be like, all right, well.
So they lost by one?
Huh? Yeah. Another one. Yeah. It would have been tied if they scored the extra point. I think it would have been tied.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they blocked it, so they lost by a point.
That sucks.
I like when teams show like gusto and go for two in that situation, man. Like, go for the win.
They weren't at home, right? It was in Tampa?
I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch a single snap of that game, so.
It wasn't a bad game. It was actually pretty good. It was very entertaining.
On
both sides of the ball.
It was an okay game from like what I saw in the highlights. You know, like I said, I didn't actually get a chance to watch it live or whatever, but.
Defensively, Miami was playing them really well. Francois was struggling to get the ball off. He was got manhandled out there. I thought he was literally dead at one point.
So has he come back down to earth a little bit since?
Miami took him down to earth. He got carted off the field and dragged into a tent and had like eye tests and stuff done him like twice. But he went right back out there again. I gotta give him that. And every time I thought, oh, he's done now, he'd walk back out there with a limp or a sore side, whatever, to hold himself and go out there. And the more he got hurt, the better he started playing. I was like, oh, God, he's not one of these guys, is he?
Dude, remember Steve McNair? It seemed like every time he would get hurt,
it was like
he would play like better.
But this dude is not built like McNair. He's not that big, but the more they hurt him, the more focused he became. And then it was just too much for him. Then Cook started getting off good runs. You can't really stop that dude for long, though. You can try your best. Your best choice is just to kick him in the face or something. I
still think he's probably one of the best backs in the nation as far as college football is concerned.
So if the season were in today, we go in the NFL draft. Where's Dalvin Cook go in the draft?
Top 5, I'd say.
I actually think Miami's quarterback is top 5 draft material. What's his name? Kaka, whoever his name is.
I'm not really sure.
I think he's top 5.
Okay.
I do.
If
anyone wants to bet me a pizza, I'll bet you a pizza he goes top 5.
Well, see, as a Saints fan, I need defense, so I'm looking at Myles Garrett. That's who I want. So,
another one of the highlight games this past weekend in college football. It actually ended up turning into a relatively good game. Arkansas and Alabama. Alabama went on to win 49-30. It was kind of more the same of what we've seen out of this Alabama team this year. However, the defense, known to being one of the best ones in the country, I wouldn't necessarily say gave fans a scare because Alabama's stayed in control pretty much that whole game. But, I mean, they did let up 30 points.
But they scored 49.
But, yeah, they scored 49. So, they're – and I don't know if any of you guys saw that pick six from
they had the most – do they have the most in the nation right now, pick sixes?
I believe so, and they have
they're up there.
They have a guy on their team.
Their defense is always really good, though. I mean, and I like Jalen Hurts. He's a good quarterback for them. Gives them a better balance.
Yeah.
It's God, I hate Alabama, but they're not going to lose.
No.
Well, one of the things I loved about that game though was they got a player on their defense named Minka Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 picks in that game. One of them was in the very back of the end zone, and he took it all the way back to the house. I mean, it was one of the longest pick sixes I've ever seen in my life, and it kind of shows a lot about the coaching of this team because it's like they expect these kind of plays to happen because you could see the whole defense prepared perfectly for it when the guy got it. They all lined up perfectly to get the right blocks in. It was like a play they've rehearsed 1,000 times or something like that. Like usually when a pick six happens, there's kind of a little bit of chaos on the field, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This did not look chaotic at all. It looked like it was played out perfectly by Alabama. So I mean, Nick
Saban, he's a great coach. He prepares well. I mean, even when they're winning, he's still
upset
into the game, upset.
She threw his headset off at the end of this game.
Did you see the fan at the end of the game? They were talking to the coach. He yelled at the coach, "If I performed like that, I'd be fucking fired." And he started cursing at him. And it turns out it was an Arkansas teacher.
Really? Oh man, that's great. That is great.
Well, Alabama has a tough matchup this weekend.
They do. They played Tennessee, and that was another really good game last week. That was actually probably the best game of the weekend last week. The Texas A&M and Tennessee Volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
The game went into double overtime, handing Tennessee its first loss at the hands of Texas A&M. I mean, honestly, guys, I don't really know what to take away from this. I mean, is Texas A&M a lot better? Well, I mean, they're actually a highly ranked team. Not only does Alabama play Tennessee this week, and they play Texas A&M right after that the next week, and then LSU. This is kind of the interesting little stretch for Bama. But I don't know. I mean, are you guys still sold that maybe this Tennessee team is still pretty good, or or is this kind of like the beginning of the end for them?
I think it's just one loss. I mean, after this weekend, it'll be 2 losses, but it's
the game is in Tennessee,
and then Florida can win the East because we don't have to play an extra game.
Well, no, they got to reschedule that game
somehow, but
they have to reschedule that game.
I don't know how it's going to be done.
Not if LSU keeps doing what they're doing, it's not going to happen.
Well, you mean if it comes down to like Tennessee running the table, and they have that one victory over Florida, and they have that one loss in Florida, they have the one loss against Texas A&M, and Florida has one loss. There's no way they're going to put in Florida over Tennessee.
They will though, because they go by percentages. It's just what they do. They go by the winning percentage.
But if they don't make that game up, then that's not fair. Like,
it's not fair. But it's what it shouldn't happen. But it's how it's going to go.
It sucks too. I have a friend of mine that
it doesn't suck. It's actually awesome.
Well, my friend in
biasness aside, over here.
I think it's lovely.
My buddy at Gainesville, Kellen, he called me on Saturday. We were just BSing. He was like, "Yeah, the weather's great over here. Like, this actually would have been a really great college game day." Like,
you just never know.
Living in Florida or Louisiana, you know that you have no idea where a hurricane's going to go. You have no idea until it's there. And
they made the right
coming here.
They definitely made the right call on that. I would definitely give them that.
I mean, what happens if the hurricane hits there and there's a ton of deaths.
And it went right by there. It wasn't like it went like far away. It just went right next to it and barely grazed it.
As long as El Indio is okay, that's all I care about when I go to Gainesville.
Oh, that place is great.
What's it called?
El Indio.
It's a little taco shop.
It's off of 13th right there. It's so good.
It is great. The last time I ate there, my band Rainey's Revenge, we had a show in Gainesville at the 1982, and we stayed at some friend of our drummer's house. And then the next, I refused to leave Gainesville until we went to we had to go out of our way to get there. But man, it was worth every bite, dude. Just delicious, delicious Mexican food. Anybody listening out in Gainesville, and if you haven't tried that place, do it.
Speaking of which,
everybody in Gainesville knows.
Yeah, right.
I mean, come on now.
Speaking of which, what people in Pensacola might not know, if you go across 3 Mile Bridge to Gulf Breeze over towards the right next to the bar, the Bay, what's it called, the the Bridge Bar.
Yeah.
like right
There's
there.
a new taco shack there.
I saw that.
I went there today. It's good.
I saw that.
It's authentic. It's real. And like the shit is like legit. They
If I
have the
still worked at the
Calton, the
beach, that'd be
Laguna,
great.
Yes, tacos, quesadillas, and burritos.
I want to say it's like similar to the like that it's like kind of sketchy looking. That's like a taco shop that's right there behind a Shell station.
The one on Davis. Yeah.
Like I
it might
want
be
to
the
say
same people.
I
They
want to say
taste
it
the
is.
same.
Yeah.
It might be the same people. I don't know, or maybe it's just so authentic Mexican food just tastes like that. Which
Yeah.
I assume it does because that shit's really good.
It could be. One thing did happen this past weekend that I don't think was talked about enough by everything else on like ESPN and stuff like that was supposedly this guy named Tom Brady played a game last week. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, I saw that.
My fantasy team heard about that.
Yeah, I picked the Patriots straight up last week, so I'm glad that Tom Brady came in one. But unfortunately, he threw to Martellus Bennett 3 times.
A lot. Yeah.
When Julian Edelman and Gronk were just standing there, they could have thrown to them a little bit more, which would have helped my team out a little bit. But
I had him on the Coyotes League, and I completely forgot I had him. And I just looked at my scores like, what the hell is going on here?
Dude, I benched Larry Fitzgerald, and I lost by like 6 points or something stupid like that.
I had T.Y. Hilton on my bench in one league. That hurt. I lost by 10 points in that league, and he had 30 points sitting on the bench.
This is what fantasy owners have been waiting for, is Tom Brady coming back. I mean, this one game is not the tell-all. I mean, they're going to run a 2 tight end set the rest of the year, but Julian Edelman's numbers are going to go up.
Yeah.
Gronk's numbers are going to be Gronk.
I would
just,
But when, though?
Yeah.
I would
it
still
can't be that the same as like if he delays. I mean, what, Sweet 6 now?
Yeah.
The only player I would expect to see a little bit of a decline with, as far as the Patriots go, LeGarrette Blount maybe. I definitely think there's a chance that his numbers are going to drop a little bit. But I mean, who knows?
As long as they get
He
to the
gets
goal
goal
line,
line, even though he did get blocked twice this weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He normally gets in, and that's when they need him. And that's like 2 attempts. That's what? If he gets 2 of those, it's 14 points.
He's a flex. Like he's not going to be a RB1 or RB2 anymore, but he's going to be a nice flex. So if you're undecided, I mean, he's a good person to put in. So but the Browns, on the other hand, who's their quarterback now? They've gone through 5 quarterbacks.
They had 3 different people at the position of quarterback in that one game.
Yeah,
like Terrell Pryor was even under center there for a little while. Like that is a really unlucky organization over there, the Browns. I mean, I thought the Saints had it bad back in the day. Wow, this Browns team cannot catch a break. I'm almost under the impression that next year the Browns can acquire Tom Brady and Adrian Peterson and Julio Jones and Antonio Brown and the greatest defense that mankind has ever seen, and they're going to play for the Browns next year, and they'll still go 6-10. Like,
if they pulled that off, their GM is the greatest GM of all time. Because
obviously it wouldn't really happen, but I mean, it just seems like no matter what that team does, it's just it's.
How about this? When they're so bad, but yet they trade away Trent Richardson. How bad was he? How bad must he have been to get traded away from the Browns?
Really, his first season with the Browns was not that bad. Like, if you go look at the numbers, he did not have this dismal,
Yeah, that's
year.
why he went like next year. Fantasy owners would take him like top 5 pick.
Yeah, he was my number one overall. Yeah, he was my number one.
Like, what's happening? I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I had the 3rd pick, and I foolishly took him over Marshawn Lynch.
It was a good pick because you're right. The year before he did well, but then all of a sudden,
and it seems smart because you would think he'd do better in his 2nd year. And what else did the Browns have? Nobody.
Everything just caved in on him, though, dude. He couldn't read shit.
The minute he went to Indianapolis, man, it was just a downhill.
Yeah, they realized that he was missing.
You want to hear about a terrible trade? I traded Andrew Luck and Doug Martin for Trent Richardson in their rookie years.
That is a really bad trade.
What?
I traded him to my friend Nate.
Was that one of those drunk trades?
No, I just was like a huge fan of Trent Richardson for some reason. I made that trade, and after that, Doug Martin had 2 200-yard games, blew it up. Andrew Luck was Andrew Luck, and I still beat the guy I traded him in the playoffs, but it was the dumbest trade I've ever done.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah.
One thing that was bad for me and CJ up here that happened this past weekend, the Falcons game. They hand the Broncos their first loss, 23-16.
Hold on, stop. Are the Falcons legit?
Are they legit?
I remember last week I a certain person to my left here kept saying if they beat the Broncos, they might be legit.
So I'm going to go ahead and say, it looks like this team is legit. And, I mean, right around when we were talking about the Falcons last week is right when my birthday alcohol was starting to rise a little bit. But it only got worse as that night went on, by the way. But I mean, I still stand behind what I was saying last week. It's not like I was saying they were a bad team or anything like that, but I mean, it's not the first time I've seen this Falcons. Like last year, the Falcons had a great start, and they didn't even make the playoffs after that.
I think this 4-1 team is better than the 5-0 team, though.
Yeah, no, this team looks great. This team looks great right now.
Which is weird, but I think that's a fact.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can run the ball. They're not playing the greatest defense or playing enough defense. Matt Ryan's playing out of his mind right now. On the chat, my friend Nate's mentioned that Atlanta went 6-0 last year, but last year was last year. This year is this year.
Yeah.
It was 5-0, I thought.
No, they went 5-0, and they lost to the Saints, and then they won, and then they went 2-6 the rest of the way or something like that. But they're going to be good. I think Seattle's going to give them a tough matchup.
Seattle
but the rest of the division is weak. They already handled Carolina. The Saints defense is still hot garbage. The Bucks are the Bucks. You don't know what you're going to get from them. So unless any of the other teams in the NFC South start playing better, I hate to say it, but Atlanta's going to run away with the division.
It's looking that way right now, yeah.
I don't know how well they'll do in the playoffs, but they'll win the division for sure.
The California battle of last week, that was tough to watch right there. It was great for our producer Kenny. His Raiders won 34-31 over the Chargers, and this is more of the same from these San Diego Chargers. Choked, big choke right there.
It's great fantasy numbers, though.
Yeah, they are great fantasy numbers. But unfortunately, if you're a Chargers fan, this has got to be frustrating as hell. Like,
I have a question right quick.
Sure.
Who has the best offense right now in the league? Every time you watch a game, whoever's commentating says that team has the best offense in the league. I'm like, how? You just said so-and-so did. Who is it?
I think statistically it is the Raiders? Oakland Raiders, yeah.
Okay, because I mentioned that the other day, and I got laughed out of the bar, so I'm not going to mention that ever again. But
ever.
That's what I thought.
They're all. The Raiders are doing well. The Patriots are the Patriots.
But there has to be one that's doing best, right? Or at least tied for first. I thought it was the Raiders. If you just
look at the numbers, it's between Matt Ryan and Derek Carr as who's playing the best right now.
Okay.
I am a homer. The Saints have the potential to put 30 points on anybody.
Russell Wilson is looking really good this season too.
He's always solid.
Not that that's any kind of surprise, but right now I think if you look at the stats, he's off to one of the better starts he's ever had.
The biggest surprise to me is Cam Newton and the Panthers. I know Cam Newton didn't play on Monday, but the last few games
they're doing really bad.
Yeah, besides that one game against San Francisco, he has not looked the same.
But they're better in all aspects of football: special teams, defense, kicking.
It's just an all-around.
Everything's bad. Bad.
I don't know if any Panthers fans actually watch this show, but I've never liked their fans.
Do they have fans?
They were Seattle fans.
They're all Seattle fans. I can never tell where they're at. They keep moving their. Adam, Najon, please tell us who you're a fan of right now. We're confused.
I think he's still a Seahawks fan.
I know. I like to mess him about that, though.
He
was a Jags fan. No, he wasn't a Jags fan. No, he liked Mark Brunell. I remember he was a big Mark Brunell guy for a while.
Me and CJ over here, I can't remember exactly why we were in New Orleans this one particular time, but we went to this bar called the Dungeon.
Yes,
it's one of my favorite spots to hang out at in New Orleans. It used to be, and
dude, gay bars have the best drink specials.
Yeah, right. Anyway, we went to the Dungeon and this CJ was talking to one of the bartenders or whatever, just being friendly, making conversation.
Yeah,
and then she goes. She goes, oh, well, I don't really pay attention to the Saints. I'm a Panthers fan. He just goes, ew, and just walks away.
I think the word gross came out, too.
Yeah, it was either ew or gross or something, but that's literally how the she was being,
That was a crazy trip, man. We went to that strip club, too, and the stripper, wanted me to yell out something obscene for $1. That
was actually my birthday too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they played the Jets that weekend. That was the Super Bowl year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Super Bowl year, we went and saw them play the Jets, and then immediately afterwards, me, CJ, and a couple of my buddies just attacked downtown with full force, just drinking our faces off, and we saw gross Panthers fans, and strippers like demanding CJ say that he loves pussy. Like
that's what.
And the best, like I mean, she was like in CJ's face, like intimidated. She's like, "Say you love pussy," and he's just like, "I love pussy." Like, it was the
Trump
best.
had no problem with that.
No, he wouldn't have.
Just reach out and grab that motherfucker.
It was the best thing ever.
I don't know. I've never been like the most strip club guy. Anyway, it was very awkward, and I don't know. I gave her $1.
You're blushing right now.
So
I am happily engaged, and hopefully that person's not watching this right now.
oh my god, if that. And just a quick score update. I know
What an awkward segue that was.
yeah, right.
Sports.
So just a quick sports update, really fast. Despite the historic play by Austin Matthews, the Maple Leafs managed to lose 5-4 to the Senators. The game, however, was ended in overtime. So tough break for the Maple Leafs. Even though
they need to have more than one guy score for them.
yeah, I mean literally, one guy did all their scoring, 4 goals. And it was a rookie.
And he didn't do good enough.
Didn't do good enough, apparently, because Ottawa Senators apparently had, like, multiple people score.
How do you gotta feel like you go in the locker room afterwards, just looking at everybody else like you need to step your games up?
Yeah,
like,
when a
seriously.
19-year-old is looking at a room full of professionals saying, you know, you guys need to step your game up, you know, like that's gotta be interesting right there.
Well, I know they got like the first. It's the first game. You got 4 goals. So.
Yeah, it's a long season, but I mean, hopefully for my sake and Maple Leafs fans' sakes that he keeps it up. This is gonna be an interesting guy to keep an eye on. ESPN ESPN was already projecting that like within the next 3 years that this guy is gonna be like in the same like sentence as like Sidney Crosby, Steven Stamkos, Alexander Ovechkin, which I could totally see. I mean,
he's young enough.
Yeah, after one game, he's definitely
when he was
looking good.
born, I was 15.
Yeah, and now he plays for one of the oldest franchises in North America's history.
But I got the
original
last laugh.
6.
I'm on a local sports show.
You are on a local sports show.
Okay.
Couple pretty good games going on this weekend in the NFL. We've got the Broncos and Chargers tomorrow night. Yeah, I mean it looks nice on paper because there's a lot of fantasy owners that are going to be happy probably with these outcomes. A lot of fantasy owners that are going to have a lot of players that play for these teams. Normally, but I mean, it's Thursday night, primetime football in San Diego, but I mean, it's not looking good for San Diego right now. Do you think this team can try and turn it around tomorrow, or are we looking at another loss?
I feel they'll lose at the last minute by shenanigans. Like
San Diego?
Yeah. And I'm benching all of my players on San Diego except for maybe Melvin Gordon.
What about Phillip Rivers?
Phillip
Rivers will get you 3 to 4. That's
I don't
Denver,
know
though, so it might be 1 to 2, but...
The only reason I like Melvin Gordon is he might get the goal line. All you need with a running back is 1 goal line.
Yeah,
you know,
Melvin Gordon is having a good year, a lot better than his rookie year.
I'm starting Travis Benjamin in the league because I have to, but just temper your expectations for that. I think the Broncos are going to score a lot of points, and they're wearing their old school helmets, which I really am looking forward to.
Who do you think is going to do well for Denver? Do you think the receivers are going to be able to get some action this time around?
Well,
he seems to the quarterback seemed to like Emmanuel Sanders a lot in the last couple of games. Like, if it's going to him or it's not going anywhere, which I don't mind. I have him on several teams, but
he's definitely the number one option. I mean, Demaryius Thomas is a more superior receiver in my opinion, but they're looking towards Sanders a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, like for him, like the quarterbacks are. The defense is locking in on Demaryius, kind of trying to shut him down, so he's getting free looks.
I guess we have 2 decent receivers. One's going to be able to get away.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't cover 4 guys on 2 players. That's just going to leave all sorts of
Plus, the
holes
Broncos have a strong running game. The Chargers are prone to give up a lot of points to receivers.
I think their secondary is shit, right? I mean, ranked in the bottom 5 is what I consider shit.
Well, they also lost their best cornerback, Jason Verrett, for the entire season. So
that doesn't help anything.
No, not at all.
I start all your Broncos. That's all I gotta say. Temper your expectations for the Chargers.
If
you have better options on your bench,
take them.
Yeah.
Are we seeing the Cleveland Browns go 0-6 this week? They're playing the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee.
Yes.
Can we see them go just go winless? Defeated the entire year. Will that happen?
They'll beat somebody.
You think so? I hope not. I love when teams go defeated. That's like the best.
It only happened one time.
Yeah, it's only happened once.
But I want to like it.
I
liked Detroit that one year. I liked it for a long time. Then they finally won, and I was fucking pissed.
Yeah. The Dolphins came close too, and then they
the thought of it is what I like. I guess it's just awesome to root for a team to lose.
The Browns have good pieces, which leads me to think that they'll jump on somebody. I mean, I think they might beat the Ravens once.
I could see that, or like some kind of fuck game.
No, I don't want to win nothing.
They'll lose to the Bengals twice, lose to the Steelers twice. I think they'll get the Ravens once.
Come on, where's their pride at? You don't. Why win a game now? You're just ruining your draft picks.
We'll see. What's probably going to happen is when RG3 comes back, like towards the end of the year, he's just going to go ape shit on everybody and take Cleveland completely out of the
or he's gonna slip in the shower and be out for 5 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Dude, so we're talking about having a Mr. Glass tournament upcoming soon.
Oh,
and
yes.
That's my dark horse sleeper
The
for the
Mr.
Mr.
Glass
Glass
tournament.
tournament.
We have to explain
Robert Griffin
that.
III.
Will you explain that? Because
should we do it on the site? Well, let's do it now.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and tell what it is.
You guys know how oftentimes you'll see like brackets, like playoff brackets, and they'll have like, I don't know, a subject like hottest celebrity female from a horror movie, and they'll have them all lined up, and you have to debate who's the best one, and whoever's the best one wins and goes to the next part of the bracket. Well, we're going to do a Mr. Glass tournament. We have to find, and by the way, go to our website, just go to our website, and if you want to suggest someone, or nominate. You can nominate a glass man or woman, if there's a woman out there.
The Underground Pub Show
fragile.
Facebook page.
I would like to get at least 14. But we'll take as many. Yeah, see,
for
Underground
those
Pub
that I'm sorry to interrupt you, Bobo. For those that don't know, what we're talking about with Mr. Glass. It's that player that just gets hurt, just like the movie Unbreakable.
Fragile.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bobo.
No, that's fine. Yeah, fragile guy like
Robert Griffin III,
Robert
obviously.
The third.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Ivory.
Tony
Tony Romo, Jay Cutler, but I mean that's
Sam Bradford was Mr. Glass. But
still haven't named my number one.
But he's actually turning around. He hasn't been hurt for like 5 games.
Ryan Glass motherfucking Matthews. That dude is a single thin pane of glass. In the wind blows, it cracks. He is so horrible with his body. It's made out of diarrhea. I don't know what the problem is. He's just bad. He can't stay in one piece. And he played one game this year. And he was. Like, come on, man.
Who's that player that as soon as they get tackled, you're just like, oh, is he okay?
Yeah. You have to tackle him with like a pillow and then, cuddle him and make sure he's okay or he's going to shatter.
Mark Campbell was one for the Saints. He was a tight end. Every single game, he would catch like a 20-yard pass. It was like an athletic catch, and then he would get hurt. Like on the same play.
Bush was like that too for y'all.
Yeah,
Reginald had
when he left, he was better.
Issues, yeah.
Before the Saints, dude, that dude couldn't run 30 yards without pulling something or snapping something.
So I mean, ironically, the only fully healthy season that Reggie Bush had was the year they won the Super Bowl. Like the next year, he was out game 2 against the 49ers, and then he eventually played around Thanksgiving time, I think it was. He came back, but I mean, he wasn't.
He was out when we lost to Seattle in the playoffs when we needed him. We had Julius Jones.
That's right. We had.
Anybody remember him? Julius Jones scored 3 TDs for the Cowboys, and everybody thought he was great. And
that I do remember him.
Yeah.
The list of injuries the Saints had going into that Seahawks game was ridiculous.
He ran into DeMarco Murray.
It got even worse.
They ran at the same time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just got even worse. I remember as that game went on, like Jimmy Graham left the game. Like at one point in time, I'm sitting there wondering who the fuck is even at running back. I didn't know who they were. I mean, maybe at the time I did, but they weren't star players by any means necessary. They were kind of like in case shit happens, running backs, and shit fucking happened. Big time. Another big game this weekend. Big-ish, I guess. Bengals and Patriots. It'll be Tom Brady's first game back back in Boston this season. The Bengals were off to a pretty good start. Now, it's looking a little iffy. They got beat by Dallas this past weekend. Do you think there's a chance that this Bengals team can maybe turn something around and get a victory over Brady in the past?
Tom Brady is not losing in Foxborough. Let's be honest.
You don't see that happening?
No. Freaking Yeoman Johnson quarterback wasn't losing in Foxborough this year. Tom Brady's not losing in Foxborough. It's not going to happen.
So the Bengals are going to lose 2 in a row.
Yeah,
the Bengals beat up on the bad teams. and then they lose to the good teams.
And then they make it to the playoffs and play one game, and then they go home, and then their coach gets signed another deal for 10 more years, and no one knows why.
Yeah, that's
such is the life of the Bengals organization.
They just love being one and done, man.
I truly believe if this team doesn't make the second round of the playoffs this year, they're going to fire that coach. They've got to. Like, I just don't.
I've been having that conversation for like 5 years now.
Bengals fans don't even talk about no more. They're just like he's just there for life, whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, we always mention the Saints as far as who they're playing. They're playing the Panthers. It looks like Cam Newton will probably be back for this game. I know he was limited in practice today, but I mean, I personally hope he's going to be there. I
do too.
This is semi. I would say this game is a semi personal for the Saints. One, it's a division game. Two, last year they swept the Saints. The Panthers did 2 games. The first one was actually pretty close, and that was a game that Drew Brees didn't play in. Luke McCown started that game, and an interception in the end zone pretty much sealed.
Well,
their
in
fate
all
that
fairness,
game.
both games are close.
Both have to win this game too to keep any sort of relevancy this season. I think.
Yeah.
If you lose this game, then
The game-
unless Falcons just crash and burn, you're gonna have a tough time.
Thing is, if the Panthers lose, it'll be 3 losses in the division. So that's a hard mountain to climb.
That
out
is
of.
that. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saints
harder.
have only played 1 game in the division so far against the Falcons, and we lost.
This
So
game is
it's-
going to be at the
So
Mercedes.
The Saints can afford the loss better than the Panthers, but still,
I mean,
they
no,
don't really
no,
want
and
it.
yes at the same time.
Yeah,
don't
they could
want
semi
to,
afford. They could semi afford it. I mean, if the Saints
divisionally.
Yeah.
If the
Plus, the
Saints-
Saints have already had a bye, so
Yeah.
they,
if the Saints were a better looking team and they lost this game, I would say like, oh well, they've got however many weeks to try and turn this around. But I mean, they just don't look like that great of a team this year. But they're playing the Panthers. Like I said, it's personal. They really want to. They need this victory. They both need this victory. The game's in New Orleans, where the Saints are 0-2 so far. I think that streak ends this weekend. I'm taking the New Orleans Saints in this one.
By the way, if anyone wants
Crickets.
to add a nomination for the Mr. Glass tournament, you can call in to the hotline as well.
Yes.
It's right above my head.
It's right.
well,
above
it's
my
like
head.
where Schreiber's head.
Kind of.
907-7686. I paused for a minute. I paused for a minute because I'm kind of torn on the Panther Saints game between my heart and my head. My head tells me the Panthers are going to win. My heart tells me the Saints are going to win, and I'm going to go with the Panthers. I'm not. I think the Saints are overmatched, especially.
But
if
you
Cam
wouldn't
Newton comes
mind being
back.
wrong.
I would not mind being wrong. Just
And you've been wrong a lot on this show so far.
yeah, that has happened.
So let's hope that streak continues.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, dear.
I've had some nuggets of wisdom here and there.
Bobo, who you like this weekend? The Panthers or the Saints?
Where's that? I didn't
It's in New
ask.
Orleans.
It's in New Orleans, but that doesn't mean anything anymore. We lost our home field advantage.
Legitimately, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think as far as having something to prove type of thing, because that's who I think is going to win this matchup, is whoever thinks they have something to prove and wants to get it more than the other. I think it's going to be the Panthers because they just went to the Super Bowl last year. They lost, but they went,
Yeah.
and they're supposed to go this year, and now they can't even win their division. So we'll see how that goes. But I would go for Carolina if I had to put money down on it.
Heard that.
Me too.
Probably one of the more attractive matchups this weekend. Cowboys and the Packers at Lambeau Field. That game is going to be at 3:25 Sunday afternoon. This game I'm really excited about. Both teams look really good right now. Cowboys obviously riding a hot hand with Dak Prescott. Packers are looking like the Packers right now. Aaron Rodgers having a great year. Although there is some injury issues with Eddie Lacy, I'm not really sure what the final word is on that yet.
I think he's still questionable.
Yeah, he was listed as questionable this morning when I checked my fantasy. So, but I mean, Eddie Lacy's just not looking like the Eddie Lacy of a few years ago.
Yeah,
That was just this dominant
Starks
runner.
has a lot of points. You look in fantasy leagues, like the projected points, he's getting like around 10 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
So they must think something, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like maybe I don't know. Maybe my eyes are just deceiving me. I still think there's a little bit of a weight issue there with Eddie Lacy. I mean,
A little bit.
I was just kind of
His
noticing
legs
in
aren't
the
moving the same. Doesn't seem the same runner as
Yeah.
he was the first year.
But this is going to be a great game. Like I said, it's probably the one I'm the most looking forward to watching outside of the Saints, Cowboys, and Packers. I'm not going to lie. I think the Cowboys' hot streak continues. I'm going to take the Cowboys in Lambeau Field.
I'm gonna go with the Packers.
And Bobo,
I'm going to take a John Madden quote for this game. Whoever scores the most points wins. That's the type of game. Honestly, that's what it's going to be. And I think it's going to be Green Bay. I don't think the defense is really going to play too much into this. I think it's just going to be whoever's the most points wins.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
that person's going to be Green Bay.
Toss up, I go with the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is superior.
Yeah,
they'll pull it off. I mean, Eddie Lacy hasn't been that huge of a factor this year anyway, and James Starks is okay.
I think
Lacy will still play. Everything I've seen.
So there's a relatively good chance that Bobo will be paying me $50 at the end of this year.
I think Elliott's going to have a pretty
that kid's
pretty
stupid
good. I
good.
think he's going to have a good game. So that's why there's going to be a lot of points to be had.
Yeah.
But I think Green Bay being Green Bay and at home will have the most points.
Off-topic fantasy question. Redo. You have the first pick. Who do you take this year? Knowing what you know now. So you have the first pick. Knowing what you know now, who do you take?
In several of my leagues and in our league, I took Johnson for Arizona, and I'll take him again.
Yeah. That's him or Elliott. I mean,
steady
if
workhorse, man. That's who I would take, dude.
I'm kicking myself. I took Gurley in a league over Johnson, and I've been kicking myself every week.
You were the one that was told me we were discussing about who I was going to keep and keeping him.
Yeah,
I was like, I think that's a good deal. I think he's gonna. If he can just do what he did for a full season that he did for half a season, I'll be well off. And there you go. He got me 51 points in that league last week, dude. 51 points.
Our PPR league, I would have been better taking the Vikings defense over Des Bryant.
When you took that pick, it's like you just didn't know what happened. For
Dude,
like 5 minutes.
I was in
You were lost.
daze. I was like, what?
Well, I mean, you even mentioned it in the message chat board. Like right after you pick it, you just said, "I froze." Like
I froze and I saw Dez. I was like, "Oh."
I mean, shit. I took DeAndre Hopkins with my first pick in that league, and like he's not really had like the start that I was hoping for. And I think a lot of fantasy owners are saying that too. He didn't have that bad of a game last week. He got a touchdown finally, so I mean that works. And speaking of the Texans, they'll be the Sunday night game this week against the Colts. Yes. Well, once looked like a really entertaining
Sunday nights
game.
are boring.
Dude, Monday night's not much better between the Jets and
The
Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah. But I mean, it sucks because like that's the Colts and Texans is a division game. And at one point in time, it looked like it was going to be an entertaining game. Now not so much because the Colts haven't really been off to the best start. They did win this
Andrew
past
Luck
weekend.
is not good.
No, he's I don't know
He's
if I would say he's not
he's
good,
middle of the
but-
road. He's just a quarterback that plays football.
I feel he's good. I feel like
No.
he just has a shit team around him.
Oh no, I think he's making a shit team around him, dude. I don't think he's that great.
Really?
I'll be honest with you. I will never draft him in any fantasy league I'm in ever.
He's doing okay for me.
Fair enough. I
mean,
think he's shit.
He hooks up with T.Y. Hilton at least once a game.
Once a year?
Once a game.
Come on, man. How many touches has T.Y. Hilton had so far?
T.Y. Hilton's the number 2 ranked wide receiver in fantasy football.
I definitely think
tied
Andrew
for
Luck
it.
is better than any quarterback that the Texans have had since like Matt Schaub. But
I sort of agree with what Bobo's trying to say is that like he is kind of been shitty.
Let's just
lately.
say this: he's overrated.
Yes, I'll give you that.
How about that?
Okay,
I can see overrated.
But the dude still has all the potential in the world. I mean, he played 2 years ago. He was like the best quarterback in the league. So
Took him to the AFC Championship.
yeah, I mean, his offensive line's been a problem. They don't have a solid running game. Frank Gore, he's fighting the
Frank Gore's having a good year.
He's fighting the never winning battle against Father Time. Like he's getting up there in age. They're a team that would be great with someone like Dalvin Cook out of the draft or a Leonard Fournette, like someone
If Fournette
like
can
a
stay
David
healthy,
Johnson, like we said in the like if they had that type of player, that
Fournette
would open up
needs
so much more in their offense.
Fournette needs to stay healthy though. He's had a little bit of Mr. Glass issues going on himself.
So is he entering the Mr. Glass tournament or
He could be. I mean, he hasn't played a game since September 24th. I mean, granted, I know this is only his second year of being like a really big talked about running back, whatever. But I mean,
on the flip side, the other team, the Texans, they have issues themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Like Brock Osweiler, this is like the same thing every week. He's not producing the way he should. The defense losing J.J. Watt's not the same.
yeah, that's.
They got embarrassed by the. I mean, the Vikings are going to do this to a lot of teams, but they got embarrassed last week.
This Minnesota Vikings team, they're.
If they were in any other division, they would be at the bottom of the barrel. But these two teams are going to fight for the lead for this division because I don't see the Jags. or maybe the Titans might sneak up there, but this is basically for the division. So
essentially,
I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Colts.
Yeah.
I'm taking Colts too. They're still man. I mean, they're not off to the start that they wanted, but it is. But I mean, I do think they're a team that can still win games.
Sure.
Maybe not a lot, but this is gonna be one. Excuse me. This is gonna be one that I do believe that they're gonna win. And like the last game that we'll talk about as far as NFL goes this week is obviously the Monday Night Football Jets and Cards. Oh, you're taking. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about you down there, Bobo. so you were gonna take the Texans.
Yeah.
We should probably keep track of this and see who actually does the best.
I think Bobo up until last week has been pretty aggravatingly spot on, but well, not aggravatingly because he picked the Saints last week and he was right on that one.
I still remember doing that.
But now I'm really hoping you're wrong this weekend, buddy. But you're taking the Texans. Do you care to explain on that one?
Because I don't like the Colts.
And that's that.
That's pretty much it. I don't like them. I don't like the way they play. I don't like their offense. I'm not big on them, and I don't know why they're supposed to be this great offensive juggernaut. I mean, I guess I was mistaken about T.Y. Hilton. I didn't realize he was having that good of a year, but he's like ranked third, I guess, fantasy-wise speaking. 3 touchdowns. I thought I have been a touchdown-only league, and for some reason I thought he had less than that, but...
Well, everybody has those teams they just don't like.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why I became an anti-Colt man.
I'm the Redskins are like the team I just don't like. There's no reason. I just don't like them.
I think I was just waiting to see this amazing athletic quarterback play of Andrew Luck with all the hype he was getting, and I was excited. I wanted to see it. I was like, this is going to be amazing. This just is a walk into Peyton's shoes and just tear it up in that dome and just throwing the ball all over the place. There's going to be one of these great offenses you just love to watch, like the Rams back in the day. And that has not happened. Not in my opinion, anyway. It's just regular quarterback play. It's nothing special. I mean, he wins games and does all right, but there's a lot more exciting, dynamic quarterbacks out there other than Andrew Luck.
Like Brian Hoyer.
He's looking better. he's doing pretty well right now.
He's kind of
hating on that dude.
I'm not hating on him.
Like Dak Prescott did. He didn't get any hype.
All right.
A little bit of hype. Not a lot.
We've only got a few minutes left, and I want to touch on baseball, but we should talk about this real quick. Dak Prescott, why? I mean, we talked about it earlier with the call. Why are they going to replace him?
They don't need to.
They don't need to.
But you
Tony
almost
Romo
have to.
But what has Tony Romo done?
Not going to hurt you. What has he done? He's been with that team forever.
And what have they done?
Bad teams.
What have they done?
Well, you know what? What happens? He gets hurt, right? And then they lose.
Even when he's not hurt,
he's a Mr. Glass candidate.
The dude has like one playoff victory,
so
maybe
you don't
two.
Think he's
tops.
a good quarterback?
He's okay.
I think he's better than Luck.
I feel like he's Aaron Brooks.
Come on,
dude, the dude is Aaron Brooks.
You just literally just pulled it out and slapped him across the face with it.
The dude is good for fantasy. And, like, winning a few games here and there.
I wish a Cowboys fan would come and have a discussion, but there are none.
Exactly. When it matters, that dude disappears. He hasn't done anything.
Really?
Like, can you name, like, the great playoff victories that he has?
I mean, I can't name them off my head. No,
exactly.
I can't, but I can't name freaking Breezes neither because I don't.
He won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl.
Well, fair enough.
Super Bowl, NFC Championship game. The divisional game that year, he beat the Eagles.
2 years, I'll say 2 years later they had a road victory against the Eagles.
Peyton Manning was terrible in the playoffs forever, but he's got a couple Super Bowl rings now.
4 years later.
I don't know. Like Dak Prescott has all the potential in the world. He's playing great.
He's also young still, and there's no rush. Why rush?
Why replace him?
People just marinate on these rookies they get as quarterback and just let them learn and everything? Why is everyone going to throw these guys out there to the wolves all the time?
Yeah.
Let them learn and get better.
I
have to throw them out there right away.
I guess in a few weeks we'll see what happens with that one.
Jerry Jones said no.
Jerry Jones flat up said Romo's my guy no matter what. I love him.
Yeah, there's a discussion. He's playing.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Unless Dak Prescott gets hit by a guy with a mask in the ankle or
it just sucks. Dak Prescott can go out there and throw 4 touchdowns for every game until Romo comes back and they're like, let's put him on the bench.
But it's not like they're getting rid of him or shaming him. They're like, let's keep you here. You're our future. Sit here and watch Tony play.
Just put him on the bench.
He's not getting traded away or anything like that. He's their future. That is the Cowboys.
We got this guy here that's never done shit. Let's put him in. Let's go.
Dak's never done shit either. He's won some games too.
He hasn't had an opportunity to
wins
not
regular
do
season
shit.
games as well.
I'm surprised that the Dallas Cowboys is
Cowboy fan. Anyone
help
me?
The heat
they haven't been around
today.
since '95.
Help me! I'm trying to help you. Help me. I guess we can't. I guess it's too late for calls now, but
I
call
mean,
anyway.
we can still take. Yeah,
Jesus.
we're this show is not over yet. If you want to call.
Well, we're going to do a
$1
quick
billion
recap of MLB.
Yeah.
The Cubs had an amazing comeback victory last night to steal the series from the Giants.
Yeah, you don't have to be a baseball fan to know that was an incredible comeback, being down by that many runs in the bottom of the ninth.
They had, well, it was at the top of the ninth when they were up at bat, but the Giants went through 5 relief pitchers before they got 1 out. It was an incredible game. The Giants had won the World Series in the even years, the last few years. And, I know a lot of Cubs fans were probably nervous as hell watching that game, but it was great. And they're going to face the winner of the Nationals and the Dodgers, which that game is tomorrow. So tune into that. This is great baseball playoff time. Mm-hmm. And then the ALCS is going to be between the Indians and the Blue Jays, which starts on Friday. My Blue Jays swept the Rangers in an entertaining series, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So personally, I'm just happy the Giants lost, because any other team that's still alive, I'd be happy to see them win. So, and if you're not watching this baseball playoffs, you're missing out. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting to keep up with. I know.
So is this passion fruit beer.
It's so
passion
gross.
fruit beer.
Pinner.
For women.
Now there's your moment for the ladies right there.
I got my baseball out of the way, so we can go back to football if you want. But
so that was the moment for the ladies. The beer that Bobo is drinking right now.
Y'all crackers are crazy.
And now, a moment for the ladies.
Vote for Hillary.
Did you say vote for Hillary?
Yeah, that's a moment for the ladies. They vote for Hillary, right?
I don't even know.
That was your moment for the ladies.
That was the second moment for the ladies right
watch
there.
the new Ghostbusters.
Don't.
Yeah, no.
It hasn't made his money back yet. It's like negative $60 million right now.
You would be better off watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space than watching the new Ghostbusters. I haven't even seen the new Ghostbusters. I don't fucking need to. I saw the original Ghostbusters. That was just fine. I don't need these fucking bitches fucking.
Whoa!
Wow,
dude, easy.
Well, no, I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm not going to.
Come on, man. Don't go that far.
No, I've gone there and went, man. I've gone there and went.
Well,
fuck that movie.
But, I don't think it's gonna be as good by any means. But I'm not telling women to go in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. But
that is not what I said by any means. When I mean those particular women in the show or in the movie.
They should cook you sandwiches.
They should absolutely, instead of trying to be Bill Murray and all that. But
I don't think they're trying to be Bill Murray. I think I don't want to watch this movie by.
First
any
of all,
here's
the thing: they didn't go into Hollywood and with guns blazing and say, "Give us Ghostbusters, or we're gonna kill people." They said, "Here's Ghostbusters. Be in the movie, actresses. Here's your money. Be in the movie."
I just think Hollywood should just leave these movies alone.
I agree.
And if you go back to one of our earlier episodes, Bobo in a hilarious rant went off on Suicide Squad, and that movie has done more money than freaking Guardians of the Galaxy, which is absurd.
You know why? Because people are fucking stupid.
Dude, it's true. Like the fact that that movie has made so much money.
That explanation? Yeah, you're right.
Dude, it's garbage, man. Like
it is.
I didn't hate it. I actually kind of enjoyed it, but I didn't read the comics though.
Do you know what happens?
A dude threw a boomerang at
I'm going to attack a demon princess with a boomerang. Do you know what's happening though? Let me explain to you what's happening in Hollywood right now, if I may.
Sure, I want to hear.
When you make a movie in America now, you go back, you do editing after you made the movie. You add more Asian people, you add Asian jokes, and you have little Asian thing, little Chinese actually. Let's just say Chinese. Okay. And then, because China is now allowing their people to go to movie theaters and see American-made movies. You should look how Warcraft came out and made it was $200 million to make it, and it made $60 million in the States, but it made $380 million in China.
Wow.
Yes, it's a hit now. It's to them they made it as a blockbuster. Well, here, no one saw it as a complete failure. Open up, apparently in China they love orcs, but Ghostbusters, they couldn't release Ghostbusters in China because Chinese are scared of ghosts. You're laughing right now, but that's the truth. The Ghostbusters couldn't get the
Chinese
extra...
are afraid of ghosts.
I'm serious. Google it. Ghostbusters was not released in China because the Chinese are scared of ghosts, and they wouldn't take to the movie. You think I'm being funny?
The minute this
Please
episode's over, I'm Googling that
Okay,
shit.
first of all, there's a lot of
I'm not even being funny.
There's a lot of good Asian horror movies. Like The Grudge was an Asian horror movie.
No, I'm
Ringo-
talking about China, specifically in China. Not Japan, not Korea, north or south. I'm
Well,
talking
is it
about Chinese.
like that they have the whole like whitewashing? How the new Doctor Strange coming out is Tilda Swinton instead of being like an Asian man.
Yeah,
Wang.
I don't even know how to deal with all that.
Wong, or
That's
whatever
just
his name
how.
Apparently, to back you up about this Chinese people being afraid of ghosts, that movie Crimson Peak was banned in China too for a similar reason. Apparently,
That movie was not. That was not a horror movie.
It's
That
not
was like.
horror, it's ghost in general. You can make Casper the Friendly Ghost. They won't watch it.
So are
It's
they
a
afraid of
ghost.
Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby?
Yes, they wouldn't release
Terrified,
it over there.
terrified.
The afterlife, spirituality, ghost, all that stuff. They don't want to go to the movies and watch that shit. They don't. That's not what they're about. They're not about that life at all.
no, not
You
at
release it, and they'll laugh. Be like, "No, I'm gonna go watch the Warcraft movie." So Ghostbusters couldn't recoup that bonus money. Now, guess what?
But the whole movie was them catching
Here's
ghosts.
the thing. This is gonna blow your mind. All 5 or 4 Transformer movies, as of right now, every single one of those shit movies has made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And do you know why? Chinese man likes fucking robots jumping through cars and shit.
So racist.
it's just facts.
And women. Sorry. But the
Chinese men love robots.
They love-
are afraid of ghosts.
It's not it's real talk.
This is what
though.
I'm hearing
It's
from
real.
my right, and I
It's
love it.
real.
Says the guy that said
I'm
that
not
Bobo
making-
should root for the NHL team with the most black players on it. That's not fucking
I
racist.
just-
It wasn't racist. I just.
It was.
No,
It was.
this is a friendly suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
True. I like the Bulls and the Pelicans, Danny.
I'm just saying they like Transformers a lot. $1 billion. Every single one of those shit movies has made $1 billion.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hate.
well,
I hated,
yeah, I thought
I
it was
hated
really
those
good.
movies,
projected
man.
to
I
make
absolutely hated
5
them.
more Transformer movies. Why would they make?
Because people keep going to see them, like Transformers
Let's
and
just make them for the Chinese.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like you can
Power
put
Rangers soon. Like
You can put The Rock in any action movie. I don't care
By
what
the
you
way,
call it, and it'll
The
be
Rock
like a,
and old dude are now a comedy duo, and they're in Jumanji. Did you know that?
no,
redoing
that's really
Jumanji
sad.
With The
That's
Rock
really
and
sad.
what's his name? Kevin
Hart.
Yes, they're doing Jumanji.
That's a
The
damn
saddest
shame.
thing
right
I
there.
heard was that The Rock is going to be Jack Burton in Big Trouble in Little China.
They're the highest rated comedy duo in a long time.
That's-
That CIA movie they made that's supposed to be like whatever. Here's a movie. It freaking was a blockbuster for some reason.
Like, whatever, here's a movie.
Kevin Hart's one of the more
That's what
successful
movies are
comedians
these
out there
days.
right now. Then you put The Rock in there. like-
Paul
Malplart.
Exactly. That's exactly what that movie was. It was blah 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 blah. But yeah, they made it. Why did they make that movie for? Because they made the second one.
Because people see that they're like, oh, that's Adam Sandler's friends. It has
Adam
to be good.
Sandler's movies are shit.
That's true.
He is a horrible man. He
You know,
is sold out.
Bulletproof
on
was pretty good,
multiple-
man.
The sad
Bulletproof
thing,
was
like,
pretty
his
damn
It's
early-
not
good.
an Adam Sandler engine though.
His earlier
Yeah, but I
career,
mean, that movie that he
I'm
was
talking
in
about his engines are just money grabs.
true. Adam Sandler has shown that he can act. Like Punch Drunk Love
That
is
was
a
pretty good,
fantastic
yeah.
movie, and he did a great job in it.
Yeah, because the director probably had some
Like-
fucking intelligence and
His earlier stuff, like Billy
Yeah.
Madison, was hilarious.
Well, yeah, like he.
Gilmore was hilarious.
Well,
But-
now he's just like what Bobo said. Here's a movie. Like, come see it. Like, fuck you.
The
like,
Pixel movie?
Yeah.
Fuck off. That was so bad.
And I mean-
it was really, really bad.
And like I mean, he
It was
literally
painfully
put like
bad.
he practically put the same movie out twice with like Big Daddy and Mr. Deeds. Like they're really not that different.
and you know something?
That was the most unenjoyable
all
like,
the
movie experience.
yeah, and all the
Yeah.
pizzas and all the Domino's and Subway, everything has a real life. He takes money for product placement,
Yeah.
and then he pays all those people that keep his
Yeah,
movies,
Billy Madison with
they're
the
his
snack
friends.
packs, dude.
So he gets all his friends to do his movies. Like, hey, dude, we got 15 different things investing in this. We got Subway, we got freaking rent a car, we got this. Come do the movie right quick. I'll give you some money, and we'll split all the proceeds. That's what they're robbing us. It's thievery. It's shit. I hate it. I hate Adam Sandler. He's a fucking cunt.
You don't understand, like. I don't know why Adam Sandler was immune. He was immune to all this, while Mike Myers was like shot down after 2 bad movies.
I
But
know,
Adam Sandler,
and that dude has been seen since.
no, like he was in Inglourious Bastards. That's the last thing I remember seeing him in.
Mike Myers
And
was.
Yeah,
he
he
was
had
like
a very small part in that movie.
the general guy, right?
But Yeah, but before
Bubba
that,
Jam.
he was some sort of like Scottish officer.
It was the love guru is what killed his career.
That was
Like,
terrible. Wasn't
I
it?
mean, but at least
that
it
was really bad.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But I thought he had built up more like goodwill with all the
Rapport
Shrek
with
movies.
people,
And like, I thought he had more.
and Austin Powers, that first one was fantastic.
Have any of you guys been able to? I know you haven't, but I don't know if you've kept up with it all. That new show that's just started in season 2 now on Stars, Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I only watched the first half of the first season, but I need to finish it because I didn't stop watching it because it sucked. I stopped watching because I was watching so many other movies at the time. Our shows, but yes, I heard
It's
good,
fucking terrific.
and I'll pick
man.
it back up.
Like I mean, like it's like I think everybody definitely on this show, but it's people in general. I think they all have like that one like kind of nerd thing about them. Like either they're like Harry Potter people or Lord of the Rings people or whatever. Mine is the Evil Dead trilogy or the Evil Dead movies. I love them. I loved Evil Dead. I loved Evil Dead 2. Army of Darkness is one of my favorite movies. I thought the reboot of The Evil Dead was great. It's one of the few reboots I've actually enjoyed. And then this series, they bring back, it's for anybody that's, never seen it, it's basically, it picks up, 20-something years after the original incidences that took place in The Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. They can't mention the Army of Darkness for legal reasons in this movie, or in this show. And Bruce Campbell playing, reprises his role as Ash, and he's this guy down on his luck working at an S-Mart like kind of place, and he gets drunk with this one girl one night, and he decides to read from the book, and guess what happens after that? All hell breaks loose. Season 2, I mean, if you enjoyed the Evil Dead trilogy, you'll love this. It's everything that you've wanted and then some out of it. Whenever I heard that the show was
I'm
gonna
leaning
happen,
that way, Nate, on the chat. Nate said Luke Cage sucked, and I'm kind of starting to feel that way.
I have not watched it. I have not watched it, but I keep hearing.
You just call me a racist?
I called you both, actually.
Oh, like I was just saying, like it's just not as like I'm on episode 7. It's not as good as the other.
Yeah,
Have you seen The Ranch?
I haven't seen the.
I
Ranch,
saw
no.
it come up. I haven't seen it yet.
That's what.
Oh, and to answer your earlier question, I know Schreiber is an Orlando Magic fan. I don't know if Bobo has an NBA team.
I'll be honest with you. When I first moved back to the States, I liked the Cleveland Cavaliers back when it was like Craig Elo, Doherty, Price, and during the Jordan era, I liked the Cleveland Cavaliers because I thought they had the best chance of beating or getting past Chicago, but they never did.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started becoming more of a fan of players. Like I was like an Orlando fan because they had Shaq and they had
Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway.
Me and CJ were talking about this.
That team was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I really liked them.
We were talking about this on the way over here, actually. I think that might have been one of the best teams to never win a championship.
It was definitely one of the funnest teams as a kid growing up to watch. Because Chicago, the Bulls were gone. Everyone's trying to find a team, and that's a team in Florida was doing really well, and they're just down the road, and that was kind of cool. And actually, yes, I can't believe they never won a single championship. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for the most part. I mean, yeah, technically the Magic's my team, but I mean, I'm kind of the same. I'm more.
I don't want to be a bandwagoner, so I won't really name a team. I just like players when it comes to NBA.
I got you.
Pelicans and Bulls for me. Just growing up a Bulls fan, and then New Orleans has a basketball team, so I'm gonna root for them. But
they got the eyebrow on there.
Yeah, Anthony Davis.
Aren't they horrible?
They are, but they got one of the best young players in the league. So.
Who actually is hurt. Yeah, he got hurt the other
day. And they
day.
play in the Smoothie King Center.
They do. I saw Aerosmith there one time.
Nice.
Yeah, Fuel. Remember that band Fuel? They opened up for Aerosmith at that point.
My hands.
My seats were amazing. I was like at the very top of the stadium, like behind the stage. Like I could see I mean, it wasn't like directly behind it, but it's like if here's the stage, like we were kind of up back here. So like literally Steven Tyler is just singing to everybody in front of us. Like it was really awkward, and like occasionally he occasionally like kind of walked over and was just like dream on, and then just went back to the front of the stage. Like it was a really disappointing concert, man. I mean, they played a great set, but I don't remember, man. This was almost 15, 16 years ago. So like,
fair enough.
So obviously I didn't buy the tickets. My mom and dad did. But I mean, to be honest with you,
the Armageddon song.
Well, yeah. I mean, I barely remember the concert, but I remember they played that, and I imagine they probably weren't that cheap still, because that was back when like Aerosmith was huge. They were one of the biggest rock bands out there at the time. Like I mean, even this day, I bet you if Aerosmith went on tour, it would probably do really well right now. But I don't know if it would do as well as. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but Guns N' Roses recently did like a reunion tour with Slash and all them.
Yeah.
It became one of the highest grossing tours of all time. It was at the Superdome, and it had over like 70,000 people at it. Like,
Jeez.
Pre-recorded, you're gonna take next week off.
So-
We don't have a lot of time.
okay.
We'll let them know if we're gonna take next week off.
Our chat's going off about Dwight Howard's going to shock a lot of people, and then talking about how
Oh
the
God, I already know who that is. I didn't even look.
And then Diamondback is apparently the worst villain in the history of villains, but apparently my friend Nate hasn't seen Mr. Freeze in Batman vs. Robin, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm not gonna have time to record you guys.
So
Okay.
next week, well, actually, go ahead.
Yeah, next week will actually be an off week for us. I was kind of just getting explained this like in the middle of the show. I sort of forgot about this. Next, our producer Kenny is going to be out of town. At one point in time, we had talked about pre-recording a show. That's not going to happen. We just don't have the time to do it. So there will be no Underground Pub Show next week. I don't know what you guys are going to do without us for 1 week, but we will be back in 2 weeks. Right here at the same time, same player. Well, I say same time. We're usually like.
What date is the next? Is that the 26th? We'll be back. The 26th.
No, it'll be the
26th, yes.
Yeah,
Oh, so we'll be back on my birthday this time.
Yeah. Wait, is next week the 26th?
Oh, so
No, the
that's
week
your birthday?
after.
Okay, yeah, we'll be back on the 26th. You're right. Okay.
Are you entering the 4-0?
Yeah, I'm entering the 4-0
Nice.
Well, I'll be damned.
plus 2.
Oh shit. I've never.
The age cycle goes this way.
I'm getting close to the
Oldest,
50.
middle, and then.
Look at the hair.
And I was
Everybody
so disappointed about turning
freeze.
30. Well, anyways,
That was
that's
a horrible villain.
That's all we got for you guys today. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Underground Pub Show. I'm Schreiber, CJ, Bobo. We'll see you guys soon.
The Underground Pub Show is sponsored by Dick's Wings and Grill of Pensacola, located at
That's
6205
the first
North 9th
episode I
Avenue.
think I've ever
Call
done
ahead
that.
for the big game for your wing and wrap platters, 850-497-6945, or online at
I felt like it was kind of a boring episode until
dickswingsandgrill.com.
we
Eat,
started
watch,
talking about
play,
everything but
Dick's
sports.
Wings.
It was still a good episode. We just got more into the conversation on that, yeah.
When these three are an authority in sports talk, what a great time to be alive. The Underground Pub Show on PMVN. Tune in every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for the Underground Pub Show, right here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.